finally out of here. I was here at 9:30 and it's 1:30 already. So I don't know what's been going on. I've been getting held up a lot. But luckily I'm only 2 miles away from my next stop, so my next pickup, so it shouldn't be a problem. I already talked to them. They said call me if you show up before after 2:30, and I only got a 7-minute drive and an hour to get there, so we're looking good. It's just won't have much time to drive tonight. It's the only thing. So yep, that's it. I'm gonna stop this and then maybe do some time lapse. Okay, I'm here. They told me to park on the street and then go walk in, so I'm gonna do that. It's the building up there, so I gotta back in off the street, so I'll be right back. Okay, yep, just pull up into this other guy's lot and then back all the way down their alley there. Okay, for those ones up there, they're 2 different size bundles, so we have to run that long strap up and over and back through. See, we want to lock all this together. So this is a 50-foot strap, and I'm gonna go ahead and come on down. Okay, so I tightened these straps up already, so I'm not gonna fall off. Now, don't hold on to that one. That one's not strapped yet. Okay. this through. Now jump off here without getting tangled. Make sure your toes are clear. Okay, I've got to, I think that's gonna be right. I need that winch there. I might not have needed my 50-footer. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have enough length, so I threw the 50-footer. That'll hold that bundle, all those bundles together. I call that a gut line. I heard someone say that one time, and that's what I'm going with. Okay, now we need one strap. Starting to run out of place to put straps. Man. Let's go look at what we did up here. Make sure there's no mistakes. Oh boy, see that middle one. That's why we put the gut line. That middle one's gonna have nothing holding it other than the other bundles pushing in on it. So that's why you gotta run a gut line. Okay, that'll do. This is definitely a complicated load. Okay, now we've got two winches here to put on our pallet. Can't forget to do that. Okay, I threw that one thinking they were gonna put more stuff up here. Wait, not that one. Which one? This one. I'm gonna move it back because this is all long stuff. I thought they were gonna put another bundle up top, so I was preparing for it. We have a winch on the other side, right by the tire, so we'll utilize that position. Wish I would have put the camera on while they were loading it, because we were back and forth and doing everything, and finally figured out that was the best way to fit everything. Okay. This is one of these loads that could be pretty intimidating if you're brand new. Kind of scary for me, honestly. Okay. Start tightening some stuff down and see where else we have a need. And then when you have something like this, it's a good idea when you're done to climb up on top, look around, make sure you didn't forget a little bundle that they put up there without you seeing it, or, you know. Okay. I'm gonna come back and tighten everything really tight. But for now, I just want to get everything snug. We still got to put 2 straps there. My cell phone ringing. Oh my gosh, these fucking brokers. Have to know every fucking second of the day. I got shit I'm doing. This broker called me right when I was trying to negotiate a turn. Okay. Okay, I've already got paperwork. I just have to do a good enough job of this that I feel safe. Okay, did I get everything tight on this side? Huh. You know, I forgot you want to tighten this one first. Allow everything to push together before we have a bunch of pressure downward on it. Kind of screwed up. See that? There everything's moving together. What is giving? How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Oh, living the dream.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. That is just gonna keep coming together. That's not good. You know what I might do? Oh, I might get a little tricky here. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Let's see.
Oh boy, look what we did. Actually, it's not a bad idea. That's fairly good. Okay. It's hot here. I was gonna put this in the gap. Make sure these are tight first. Okay, I'm gonna go take a peek at that one more time, but while I'm down here, I'm gonna take a little breather. Getting a little winded. I think, yeah, see, that'll tie in all the loose pipes. At least put some friction on it. Man, I hate that. Okay. Time for some water. That's exactly why when you're done tightening straps, you need to walk up there. Make sure that something like that didn't happen. When you tightened it, the bundle shifted. That's what happened. So this is probably a good reason why a lot of people don't want to flatbed. And we have to tarp after this. I'm just kidding. Holy smokes. Well, gosh, I hope everything rides okay. When you get behind a flatbed that's doing 55 miles per hour, don't get angry. He's just trying to be safe. I'm pretty sure I'm not going faster than that this trip. Okay. Boxes are locked up. Tarps are locked up. I'm gonna get up there and check it out one more time. Well, that trick worked. It's the short ones I'm real concerned about. The long ones aren't going to come out. Okay, clear your toes. That green pickup just a little bit, so they probably won't mind too much. Okay, I've got to set this thing up. like I said in the actual loading video, that I should have been filming the whole thing. It's just there was like a bunch of guys out, and I didn't want to get them on film, and if they were all, you know, going to be upset about it, I don't know. But anyway, so it was a little bit Tetris-y. We had to kind of move some things around to get everything fit right, and the bundles aren't totally nice and square, so we kind of had to stack things weird. So anyway, I was dealing with that while a broker had called me, and he had saw that I clicked on his load. Truck Stop reports to the brokers every time you click on a load, which is a cool feature, but it's also annoying sometimes too. But anyway, he saw that I clicked on his load from earlier that day, and he called me. He said, hey, you know, I still got this load, do you want it? And I said, well, maybe. I looked at it. So he told me a little bit more about it, and it was scaffolding. It was going from Spokane down to South Carolina, paying $4,900. And I'm like, man, you know, let me think about it. I was in the middle of the load, and I was like, I kind of got to go. I got to throw some straps here in a second. And we had worked with that brokerage before, but it had been a while, and they have a new system now, so we had to do another carrier packet. That's something that's new, or that is happening more and more. These brokers, if you don't work with them in like 3 months, you got to redo the carrier packet because of fraud and everything else. If they don't have like current activity with you as a carrier, they've got to redo everything. So we're just never going to get to the point where we're not doing carrier packets, because we can't work for every broker, you know, recently, because we have so many brokers we work for. But anyway, so my office was able to do that while I was doing all this, so anyway, I called them back and I said, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like it. Can you push it up to 5,050? You know, give me an extra 150. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you know, yeah, I can do that. I can meet you there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do it then. I told him that, you know, I can't deliver Monday. I got some hours of service problems, and it's going to have to be probably Tuesday, possibly even Wednesday. He's like, yeah. He's like, there's no, you know, as long as we get it delivered at a reasonable time, there's no requirement of when it has to be there. I was like, good, perfect. That'll give me plenty of time to reset my hours and be prepared. I always like, on a long haul like that, I always like to reset while I have the load on, so that once I get the load delivered, then I'm fresh and I can go run the week. What sucks is when you go deliver and you're delivered by 8 in the morning, but you've logged in that day, now you can't reset that day. So, you know, that's probably the worst thing you could do. Sometimes we have to do it because sometimes, you know, they want it delivered that day and we have to go deliver it. So anyway, but it looks like we should be able to be pretty much perfect on our schedule. And so we had a $1,500 load going from Salt Lake to Portland, then Portland to Spokane Valley for $1,400. That's $2,900 for the week, starting on a Tuesday. Pick this up on Thursday. Probably, if I'm tracking it correctly, we should deliver that on Thursday. Or sorry, today's Thursday, Tuesday. I'm thinking I'll pick it up today. I'll probably have about 4 or 5 hours left on my log today. Finish off the drive, maybe get down to Missoula. And then I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 full log days, reset on Monday, and then I have a partial day on Tuesday to finish off the delivery. 3.5 log days, actually it'd be 4 log days, because I have a half day on Thursday and a half day on Tuesday. I think that's enough to make it there. So if that all comes together the way I think it will, that'll be $2,900 that I have already, plus the $5,050. That'll put me at $7,950, right? Just barely under $8,000 for the week. Tuesday to Tuesday. Because remember, I picked up I left the house on Tuesday morning. So that's going to be a dang good week. That's what I like long hauls for. Now let's talk about the rate per mile. I haven't even looked at it. I want to say at the 4,900 it was a loaded miles from Google Maps of $1.84. So I'm not sure what it's going to be with the extra 150 tacked on. It probably didn't move the needle much because it's so many miles, but it's probably somewhere around $1.90, which honestly, that lane has not been paying that well. We do a lot of that lane because Jeff lives up there, and we normally get $1.60, $1.70 on that lane. So things are heating up a little bit in the Pacific Northwest to be able to get a load book that good, really. I mean, it's under $2 a mile. I'm pretty positive of it, but that lane normally is quite a bit under 2. So anyway, that's what the weeks might look like if everything goes the way I think it will. So I've got to get over there today. I've already made contact with my delivery site yesterday. It's a job site, and he gave me a pin of where I'm going. He said, when you get, I'll go a little faster. When you get there, he's going to take me in the pickup because it's a job site, and he said it's a little tight. So then get this load delivered, then get over there, pick up that scaffolding, no tarp scaffolding, going down to South Carolina. And that's the Thursday morning update. That's what I got going on. Okay, on these last few, I'm gonna have to have him take both stacks at the same time. And if we only pick this stack up here, look, that could likely fall over because we're cantilevering. So that weight on that 4x4 is the only thing that's keeping that up. So that just want to be careful when you're doing this kind of stuff. Make sure you look around. Well, I'm here with the load of scaffolding to go to South Carolina, and I pull in here and I go talk to him. I had already called him this morning, and I go talk to him. He's like, he kind of looked funny. He's like, "Are you my driver going to South Carolina?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Crap, I just loaded a truck going to South Carolina." He swore he was going to South Carolina. So they loaded the wrong truck, and the driver didn't speak English. So when they asked him, "Are you going to South Carolina?" "Yeah." "You going to South Carolina? You sure you're going to South Carolina?" "Yeah." So they recalled the other truck. So I'm waiting for him to get back. Should be pulling through that gate. He said he left about 10 minutes ago. So they're turning that driver around, bringing him back. He's going to back in alongside here. And then they're going to take the crap off of him and give it to me, and then give him the stuff he's supposed to get. He's supposed to go to Sacramento. I think the problem is South Carolina and Sacramento, if you don't speak English, kind of sound familiar. So Yep, that's what happened. Should be able to get it straightened out though. Well, there's the truck. It's back. That's a Freightliner Classic. So if he was going to Sacramento, that truck is not allowed in Sacramento. So, but that's pretty standard for California. Everybody goes there with old trucks. When you have an uneven stack like this, you want to try to get a strap over the bottom. Otherwise, that strap will just hold it inward, not downward. Something. Oh, that side's fine. I need to twist these. Okay, twist. Twist. We're gonna have enough room in the front?
I think so.
You only got one more stack in front?
We don't just have 5-foot stuff now.
Oh, okay. Trying to use that ratchet one, but I might need it up front. Why I wanted to use the ratchet one right here. think I did. I don't think I needed those winches up here. Nope. That one's bad, remember? I need to get that winch off of there. The internals are broken. Just, that's the problem with those ratchet winches. I thought they'd hold up better, but that one just snapped. Wow, that guy eyeballed it perfectly. He put the back one on first. He got that perfect. Sometimes you wonder, these guys do it all day in and day out. They're freaking good at this shit. See what I mean? He put that one on first. And when he got to the end, it was perfect. Right at the end of the trailer. I mean, this side he had some room, but the other side it was all, that's what I mean, he eyeballed it perfectly. Look at that. Couldn't have been any better. Okay, we're all done here, gotta get pip work. Okay, pulling out of here. Got my scaffolding load. That guy is going to Sacramento, California. That was the other load I looked at. And he's going there with a Freightliner Cascadia. Or sorry, that's a Freightliner. Sorry, I'm so used to saying that. A Freightliner Classic. Well, they stopped building those trucks way back when. Now they don't let those trucks in anymore. So, wonder how he's doing that. All right, fellas, we did it. Actually, we had nothing to do with it. It was me. Got that load of scaffolding on board and heading to South Carolina. Good to go. We had a little bit of a debacle, but got it resolved. I will probably put those videos about the little issue in there, but in case I don't, there was a truck that came in before me and didn't speak English. And because I had called and told them that I was going to Carolina and I'd be there soon, that truck showed up sooner than I did, and they thought it was me. But he didn't speak English real well, which is normal. And so everything made sense. And they asked the driver, "Are you going to North Carolina?" "Oh yeah." Or, you know, yes, see. And "Are you sure you're going to North Carolina?" The shipper told me he asked him 3 different times. And then he came out and gave him the paperwork, and he said, and he pointed to it, North Carolina, the address. See. You know, thumbs up. Good. Good. Well, nope. That driver was going to California, which was the other load that I had looked at with the same broker. That one going to Sacramento for $1,600, but he could pay $1,800. So anyway, they recalled him. He was just around the corner. He had just left when I pulled in. I didn't see him, but we may have passed. I didn't notice it, but anyway. So they took the freight off of him. I'm sure you guys saw that. I'm sure I'll put that together with this one. So everything's good to go. I got my pipe offloaded. I got this one picked up, and honestly, doing better than I thought. I have 6 hours left on my clock for the day. That is better than I thought I'd be doing. So we're looking good. We should be able to make a delivery Tuesday. In fact, I might even be able to make a delivery and repick on Tuesday, which would be ideal. So we'll find out. But today was a pretty big success, honestly. The only problem is the load of pipe that I delivered for ZMAC. That was the broker. Well, we had worked for ZMAC quite a bit. We were set up with them, and I don't think I'd hauled a load for them for a while, but we had hauled loads for them for a long time and for years. And they were one of the brokers that did not require a new carrier packet when we, you know, even though we hadn't had current loads. So we were set up with them, and I just booked a load. Well, I didn't bother checking their credit. Uh-oh. Because we had hauled a lot of loads for them, and they always paid us, and it was never a problem. Well, now we went to submit that to our factoring company, and the factoring company won't factor it because their credit dropped. So, and that was the $1,400 load that was $370 a mile. So the one load that really made our hitch look good. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to pay. I think their days to pay just extended, and so that's why the factoring company is no longer factoring. But we'll just submit the bill directly. And I got to make a call right now, actually, try to get all that lined up. But we'll just submit directly and we'll just wait for payment. You know, it is what it is. I hope they pay their bills. That would suck if they don't. So that just goes to show you can't get lazy. You got to check every broker's credit, even if you're set up with them, worked with them, and hauled freight for them for years. Because in this market, brokers are going out of business nearly as fast as carriers are, probably faster. So be careful. Anyway, that is the update for Thursday. I just have to drive my hours out today. Man, every single load this week's been no tarp. By the time I get to South Carolina, I'm gonna forget how to tarp, guys. I'm gonna have to go back and look over my videos and try to remember how to tarp, because I haven't done it in a while. So that's it for now.